Click the links below to send me art for the channel and whatever else you want to send me. COMICSGATE doesn't have cultural icons. No Iron Man, Batman, Avengers. What does that mean for the future of COMICSGATE? I was listening to Thinking Critical's video called What the Hell Happened to COMICSGATE? They did an interview where they raised the idea that COMICSGATE was easy to walk away from because Ethan was just a giant a-hole and because the characters they created are too new to be part of the culture. But then they raised an interesting point, but they just moved past it. What if the COMICSGATE books shared a universe? I thought this was very interesting. What if Lonestar, Soulfinder, Jawbreakers, and the rest shared a world? I realize Cyberfrog would have a little trouble sharing a world because he's got this post-apocalyptical thing going on. But maybe you could have Cyberfrog leave that world and jump into other worlds if they did a team-up kind of thing. It seems like it would be the start of something powerful, like the start of a new Marvel. And I know, don't jump down my throat for daring to suggest such blasphemy, but from small acorns, tall oaks grow. Plus, I think a shared universe makes the comics feel more real, more stable. Like individual comics may come and go, but the COMICSGATE universe can live on forever. And if they did a team-up thing, you would have those characters live on forever in the COMICSGATE universe. And you call it whatever you want, Earth 420. Make your own Gotham and Daily Planet, and when they need to team up, it's easy enough to do. You know why I have faith in COMICSGATE? Not because we are so well organized or such a group of big brains, because clearly we aren't. Shows pictures of Kelsey, Doug TenNapel, Zach, EVS, and Cecil in his mask. Well, you just have to use your imagination. But because mainstream comics are run by people who hate comics almost as much as they hate you. Here's two examples I want to take a look at. Shuri and Ironheart. Shuri, part of the Black Panther, Ironheart, part of, at least related to Iron Man, both huge, huge names, billion-dollar properties, right? Both by issue 10 are down to 10,000 sales, which is amazingly bad. Shuri is unreadably bad, while at least Ironheart is, while horrible, it has the Iron Man suit, so at least it kind of holds memories of better days, and by better, I mean 40 years ago better. COMICSGATE has a few advantages in this culture war. Their comics are not SJW propaganda written by idiots without a sense of humor. Our idiots are funny as hell, except for Doug, Nasser, and Adam. Maybe I should edit that out. Note to self. And there's a huge market out there. And I suspect that if people found out about COMICSGATE and our prima donna artists could stop fighting, more people would switch over from mainstream cancer comics and, oh yeah, she's fighting a big bug, and jump into COMICSGATE. 100% soy-free comics. We've got frogs, bunnies, hell priests, and hot sexy bitches with gravity-defying jugs. Just like comics are supposed to. The mainstream has boobless lesbians who look like twinks. You think COMICSGATE stuff is expensive, and for now it is, with the shipping at least, but at least you're getting something for your money. A fun story written by people who don't hate you because they are you. They're just a fatter version of you. Let me ask a dumb question here. Can COMICSGATE books be sold on Amazon? So we can buy a bunch together and get the free shipping. I see that John Del Rose sells on Amazon. Did you know that he is the leading voice in Hispanic fiction? I consider him our token diversity hire. I would riff on him a bit, but Spanish are a hot-blooded, violent people who I picture running around in suits of armor with swords. Besides, I think they started the Inquisition, so they are not to be trifled with. I also think of them as swarthy, a brown, hairy people who tell you that they don't need no stinking badges. You know, if anyone should write a comic about AOC, JDA is the perfect guy to do it. They're probably related. My point is that I see his stuff on Amazon, and since you get free shipping when you buy your dog biscuits and whatnot, why isn't Soulfinder, Lonestar, and Cyberfrog also on Amazon? And if there's an easy answer for this, I know someone will be in the comments yelling at me for asking such a stupid question. Probably Man of Action. It seems like COMICSGATE is its own worst enemy. Now that I think about it, the fat man at the center of the controversy has an interest in keeping the fighting going because it keeps the focus on him and those outraged super chats rolling in. Where if COMICSGATE was on friendly terms, then other comics would share some of the spotlight and some of the profit. The simple solution to this is just to grow the audience, which I think should be easy to do because I think the audience is out there. But then, they see this childish fighting and they say no thanks. I said COMICSGATE doesn't have cultural icons, but really, Marvel and DC no longer have them either. They have these soy, feminized versions of them. Once you go soy, how do you come back? And to all the kids who are thinking they're trans kids or gay kids to get attention, how do I say this? Some things can't be undone. You can't unsuck a dick. And here's the thing with the SJWs who write the mainstream garbage. They may lighten up on the communism, racism, sexism, but it's always going to be there in the background, waiting to metastasize like cancer. They are never going to stop making all the terrorists, thieves, and killers have blonde hair and blue eyes. Every gang is always going to be a blonde, Trump-supporting motorcycle gang. I saw one comic where the gang in description had shoulder patches with PC written on them, and then it was crossed out because free expression is bad in their brave new world. It's like a weird upside down world where every bad guy is a German poster boy from Central Casting. COMICSGATE could build cultural icons. I mean, if it wasn't being sabotaged by egomaniacs acting like 12-year-old girls. COMICSGATE had a great start, but it seems to have gone off track a bit. Maybe when the Mark Waid case concludes, Zach can take a more prominent role. See, Zach is good because he isn't an ass who needlessly fights with people for drama. People do want comics and graphic novels. The money is definitely out there. Shuri sold, or maybe only shipped, 10,000 issues at $4 a pop. So let's take a look at what $40,000 looks like. If you're saying to yourself, hey Bianca, this looks like it was made for alcoholics who don't read English, well, you'd be right. You look at it and assume it's for black kids. Not a chance, because kids want interesting characters to go on adventures, and nothing like that happens in this comic. The problem is it's a bunch of manly women talking about how awesome they are. Then they fight a giant grasshopper, and then they talk about how awesome their ancestors are. Oh, yeah, this is a shrinking and growing grasshopper because it's like Godzilla or some Japanese anime thing. They introduced this great big fat guy, but for some reason he's wearing a half shirt. Well, plot twist, he is a she, a great big fat broad dressed like a warlord. Do these people know how patriarchal African tribes are? Well, Wakanda is different. Yes, in Wakanda, everyone is wearing bones and lip plates and feathers and things, but they managed to build spaceships, so everyone in Wakanda has a PhD in physics, but they dress like it's 200 years ago. Why exactly? In many cities, most people are dressed like they do in the West. Very few people are walking around wearing tribal regalia, though I do admit that African tribal costumes are very cool. Oh, and where is the diversity in this comic book? It's all African people. Diversity doesn't mean African. It means to have different things put together. Someone needs to tell them that Black Panther is istophobic. That's a chick. No boobs, great big beer gut, and she's dressed like with her little kitty ears. If you're not hot and it's not Halloween, that just looks kind of ridiculous. Okay, these two dudes down here, this athletic looking dude looks like a gymnast, and this great big fat warlord, these are both supposed to be women. Oh, good to know she has Mark Waid shoulders, because that's what so most little kids are reading comics for, to see women do things that, usually most adventure books have men doing, because biologically speaking, men are expendable and women aren't because they carry the eggs. Whatever, don't say it. Should I use that for a thumbnail? I think I'd get in trouble. I don't think I would get in trouble. I think someone would say something in the comments that would get me in trouble, and I'd have to watch the comments like a hawk, and I definitely do not want to do that. Anyway, this is COMICSGATE competition. So, and this did $40,000. So if you can't beat this, what's wrong with us? I think we can beat this. easily. The stuff I've seen in COMICSGATE on the Indiegogo, there's just so much talent out there, and it's not really getting talked about because people are fighting instead of growing the platform. Anyway, I mean, oh god, she does this little self-congratulatory letter where she just talks about how great she is. Shocking. Yeah, people are spending time fighting instead of growing the platform. Though I will say that the Mandy with the Wart the Wizard thing, she's doing it. She has a very good show. She has a live stream where she's selling comics and trying to grow things. So she's actually doing a lot of work for COMICSGATE. So hats off to her. But the rest of us can also join in. Anyway, you can like, comment, subscribe, send me email, send me art for the channel, click the links, BiancaZombie602@gmail.com, and I will see you guys all next episode.